You find yourself standing on a platform made of silver stone, suspended high above a sea of stars. There is no sound but your breath, and even that feels softened, as if wrapped in velvet. There is no memory of arriving, only the awareness that you are meant to be here. Above you, the sky is an ocean of midnight blue, dotted with slow-turning constellations that pulse gently with golden light. They do not twinkle. They breathe. Ahead, the train waits. Its body is long and low, built not from iron or steel, but from brushed obsidian and stardust. Moonlight pools in its windows, casting reflections onto the platform like ripples across a glass lake. A glowing sign hovers overhead, written in a language that feels familiar, even though you've never seen it before. The Moonlight Express. You step forward, drawn by the slow rhythm of the engine, a deep, steady pulse that sounds less like machinery and more like the heartbeat of sleep itself. At the doorway, the conductor waits, tall, still. Their uniform glimmers faintly, woven with silver thread that catches starlight with every movement. They nod once, without speaking. You nod in return. There are no tickets here, only permission, only presence. You step aboard. The carriage is warm, not hot, but softly lit and hushed, like the inside of a lantern held in dreaming hands. The seats are wide and cushioned in velvet grey. The walls curve gently like the inside of a shell. Tiny floating lanterns drift near the ceiling, each flickering with slow amber light, casting dancing shadows across the floor. You find your seat near a window. No one speaks. The other passengers sit quietly, eyes half closed, some gazing at the stars, others already drifting inward. They do not feel like strangers. They feel like echoes, each one carrying their own dream to tend to, but riding together through the same night. The seat beneath you adjusts slightly as you settle in. It holds you without pressure, cradles you without asking. Outside, the platform begins to fade. You didn't feel the train begin to move, but now it glides forward, silent, effortless, as if pulled by gravity that dreams have forgotten. The windows show no landscape, not yet, just sky, endless sky, deep and close, stitched with stars. The rhythm begins. A soft hiss, a low pulse, thunk, hiss, thunk, hiss. The sound settles into your breath. Every exhale feels slower now. Every thought floats further away. And then, beyond the glass, the stars begin to shift. Not because the train is moving faster, but because the space around you is changing. You pass through a mist of drifting light, like the tail of a forgotten comet. It curls around the train and flows past like silk. Beyond it, you see glowing arches of floating stone, drifting lantern barges, and clouds that shimmer like sea foam under moonlight. There are no tracks, no rails, only possibility, only direction chosen by wonder. You lean your head against the window. It's warm, and it hums faintly, not like glass, but like memory. The other passengers begin to close their eyes. A few smile softly. One holds a feather, another a paper star. You do not question it. This is a place where logic sleeps. Outside the window, the sky blooms wide with colour. Not sudden, not sharp. Just slow waves of pale violet and glowing gold, rippling outward from a horizon you cannot see. Somewhere ahead, a bell will chime, and the train will slow, and you will arrive in a place that does not exist, and yet belongs to you completely. But for now, you ride. The train breathes. You breathe with it. Thunk, hiss, thunk, hiss. And all around you, the moonlight realm unfolds. The train slows without a sound. There is no screech, no lurch, only a gentle shift in rhythm, like a breath being held. You open your eyes. Outside the window, The stars have dimmed slightly, as if lowering their voices in anticipation. The train glides into a quiet town, floating above a cloud bank of soft golden mist. It glows, not with electricity, but with memory. Every street, every building is lit by paper lanterns that drift gently in the air as if weightless. They hang from invisible strings, float near rooftops, bob softly along garden paths and bridges. Each one glows with a warm, steady light. Pale peach, soft lavender, deep amber. Some are round. Others are shaped like stars, flowers, or folded moons. The train comes to a stop at a silver platform lined with wind chimes. The chimes do not ring from wind, but from presence. As you step off the train, they tinkle softly, like the sound of distant laughter or a lullaby long forgotten. The air is warmer here, still, thick with the scent of tea leaves and cherry blossom. You walk slowly into the lantern-lit streets. The cobblestones below you glow faintly with each step, as if remembering you as you pass. No one speaks here. The town is not empty. You see other travelers, other dreamers. But everyone moves slowly, as if underwater. In one garden, a person places a lantern into a shallow bowl and sets it afloat on a canal of starlight. In another, a child kneels and whispers into a lantern before letting it rise into the sky. You wander until you find a small bench beneath a flowering tree whose branches hold dozens of softly glowing orbs, each gently swaying without wind. You sit and listen. There is no music, not quite, but the lanterns hum. Each one carries a sound, a low note, a drifting tone, a vibration like breath. You realize these lanterns are holding pieces of dreams, tiny echoes of memory, of thought, of emotion, held gently in light and paper, floating freely until they're ready to fade. Next to the bench sits a small box filled with slips of pale parchment and a brush tipped in silver ink. No sign instructs you, but you know what to do. You take a slip and write a word, just one, a word that rises into your heart like steam from a cup of tea. You don't need to explain it. The word understands itself. You fold the parchment and place it inside a small lantern resting nearby. It begins to glow immediately, a soft rose gold. You lift it gently and release it into the air. It drifts upward, joins the others. No sound, no ceremony, just release. And with it, you feel something inside you become a little quieter. You stay on the bench a few moments longer, watching your lantern fade into the sky until you can no longer tell which one it is. Then, in the distance, a soft bell rings, a chime, like glass and wind. The train is ready. You walk slowly back toward the platform. Other dreamers drift with you, their eyes soft, their shoulders light. As you board, the conductor greets you again with a simple nod. You find your seat. The lanterns inside the carriage feel warmer now, as if your new memory has joined them. Outside the window, the paper lantern town begins to fade. One by one, the floating lights rise and dissolve into mist. The train hums. The rhythm begins again. Thunk, hiss, thunk, hiss. You close your eyes, and somewhere within, your word still glows. The train hums softly as it moves. The windows are dim now, not from shadow, but from mist. The world outside blurs, like memories wrapped in silk. You watch as the colors shift, from gold to grey, from lavender to pearl. Then, the mist begins to part, and in its place you see a city made of mirrors. The train glides along a track that hovers just above glass-like canals, and buildings rise on either side, tall and delicate, their surfaces perfectly smooth. Not sharp, not cold, just reflective. They shimmer in the starlight, catching not just what is, but what has been and what is felt. The city does not sparkle, it glows. The train slows again. No announcement, No sound, just a deep stillness as the doors open onto a polished silver platform. You step out, and the first thing you notice is the quiet. Not silence, but reverence, as if the entire city is listening to your breath. You walk slowly along a winding path of crystal tile, each footstep echoing like a soft chime. As you move, your reflection appears beside you, but it does not match you exactly. It walks at your pace, moves with your steps, but the face that looks back at you changes ever so slightly with each breath. It does not show what you look like, it shows how you feel. A quiet smile, a flicker of wonder, a moment of rest, a glint of something you've long forgotten but still carry. You do not fear this reflection, you welcome it. You pass through archways of bent silver and cross bridges that seem to float in the air. Beneath them, the water reflects not the sky, but soft memories drifting across its surface. Moments not sharp enough to hurt, but clear enough to warm you. In the heart of the city, you come to a plaza, a wide open space with a shallow, circular pool at its center. The water glows faintly, rippling, as if stirred by thought alone. You kneel beside it, look down, and the surface shifts. It does not show your reflection, it shows a moment, a single memory. Maybe it's one you forgot, or maybe it's one you've never truly had. But it belongs to you, and it feels like peace. You watch it for a long time, not analyzing, not trying to hold on to it, just witnessing, just letting it be. Around the edges of the pool, tiny lights begin to rise. Small glowing motes like dust caught in starlight. They swirl gently upward, as if lifting your thoughts with them. You breathe, in, outside. No weight, no noise, just rhythm. A few dreamers sit nearby, gazing into the water as you are. None speak. There is no need. Eventually, a bell chimes. Low, mellow, clear. The sound travels gently through the city, bouncing softly from mirror to mirror like a ripple of calm. You rise, bow your head toward the pool, and begin walking back to the station. As you leave the plaza, your reflection follows once more, still changing, but somehow gentler now. You catch one last glimpse in a mirrored doorway, and what you see is not perfection, not certainty, but softness, stillness, a you that feels at ease. The train awaits, its windows glowing in welcome. You step aboard. The conductor meets your gaze, eyes kind, as if they too have visited the mirror city. Back in your seat, you watch the city fade, its towers shimmer, then blur again into mist. And soon, only your own reflection remains. This time, in the glass of the window. You rest your head, close your eyes. The train begins again. Thunk, hiss, thunk, hiss. And your heart moves in rhythm with the tracks, carrying the memory of what you saw and what saw you. The train moves more slowly now. You can feel the rhythm beneath your seat, gentle and spaced, like a heartbeat just before sleep. Thunk, hiss, thunk, hiss. You open your eyes. Outside the window, the world is no longer made of towns or cities. There are no platforms, no rooftops, no lanterns, only trees. Tall, ancient trees with silver blue trunks and leaves that drift in slow motion, as if the air here is thicker, more patient. Moonlight filters through the canopy above, not in beams, but in veils. Soft layers of glowing mist that hang gently between the branches. The stars are visible through the leaves, but they don't twinkle. They shimmer. The train glides along a track that weaves between the trees, hovering just above the moss-covered forest floor. It does not stop. Not fully. It simply slows, as if encouraging you to rest without needing to leave. You stand and walk to the open carriage door. There is no fear here, no edge, just air and the steady hush of stillness. You sit in the doorway, legs tucked to your chest, watching the forest pass. The trees move slowly, not because the train is rushing, but because the forest chooses to exist in its own rhythm. Time here does not tick, it breathes. Leaves glow faintly overhead, pale green and violet, each one pulsing with soft light. On the forest floor, you see glowing creatures, slow, weightless shapes drifting between roots and fallen petals. A fox made of mist pauses beneath a tree and looks up at you. Its eyes are small stars. It blinks, then vanishes into silver fog. Above, winged shapes move like lanterns on the breeze. Not birds exactly, but thoughts, perhaps, given shape and feathers. One passes near the train. It hums a single note as it glides overhead. The sound vibrates in your chest, and you feel your body soften. You lean your head against the side of the door. The wood is warm. The air smells of fresh moss, rain-soaked bark and quiet memory. The train hums beneath you. Its motion is nearly imperceptible. You are not going anywhere. Not really. You are simply moving through breath. A breeze stirs your hair. Not cold, just aware. You close your eyes. Let yourself be still without needing to sleep. Just resting in the rhythm of a world where time does not ask anything from you. A world where every second is as long or as short as you need it to be. Around you, the forest sings without melody, a language made of stillness, of acceptance, of deep, unspoken rest. You could stay like this forever. And perhaps in a way you do. But eventually you feel the shift again. The train breathes in, the wind changes, the trees lean slightly as if nodding their farewell. You open your eyes. The forest begins to thin, not vanish, just fade behind you like a dream you no longer need to carry. You rise from the doorway and return to your seat. The others are still quiet, still peaceful. One dreamer rests with a hand pressed gently to the window. Another hums softly under their breath, a sound so faint you can't be sure if it's real. You lean back, close your eyes once more. The rhythm returns. Thunk, hiss, thunk, hiss. And somewhere inside you, something continues to let go. You breathe. The forest is behind you, the stars ahead. There is one more stop, and you are ready. The train begins to slow again. But this time, the sound is different. Not the familiar thunk, hiss of rails and steam. This is something softer, like the gentle hush of silk falling through air. You stir in your seat, not from restlessness, but because something within you recognizes this is the end of the journey. Not a conclusion, a return. Outside the window, the landscape has changed once more. There is no town, no forest, no roads, only sky. A sky so wide, so still, that it feels like standing inside a dream that has never ended. The train glides toward a small platform suspended in nothing, a quiet place floating in starlight, its surface made of smooth white stone, etched with gentle glowing lines that shimmer like the edges of moonlight. At the far end of the platform, a staircase spirals slowly downward into a misty field that sways with tall silver grass and flowers shaped like soft bells. The train slows to a stop, and the doors open. The conductor appears beside you, hands folded calmly, eyes soft with understanding. They do not speak. They only nod, a gesture not of instruction, but of invitation. You rise, so do the others. Dreamers from many worlds, many thoughts, many resting minds. They step off slowly, without hurry, without sound. You follow. Your feet touch the platform. It feels like standing on memory, stable but infinite. You look behind you. The train glows gently in the dark. Its windows flicker with soft lantern light. And then, without fanfare, it fades. Not vanishes. Just dissolves into the sky as though it was never made of anything but stardust and song. You turn toward the staircase and descend. Each step is effortless. The spiral carries you, like drifting down through a thought you no longer need to hold. At the bottom, the silver grass sways slowly, not from wind, but from rhythm. As though it is breathing with the stars, you walk through the field. The petals of the bell-shaped flowers glow with a soft heartbeat pulse, each one a whisper from a dream long remembered. There are stones scattered here and there, smooth and round, each etched with symbols you understand the moment you see them, and forget the moment you look away. That is the nature of this place. It does not ask to be known, only felt. At the center of the field, you find a soft rise in the earth, a cradle of grass beneath an open sky. You lie down. The ground beneath you is warm. The air above you is still, and the stars are watching. They do not blink. They do not burn. They listen. You close your eyes, not because you are tired, not because you are asked, because there is nothing left to do, no journey to plan, no thought to follow, just presence, just peace. A breeze moves over you, one final hush, like a lullaby made of silence. Somewhere nearby, a bell chimes, once, clear, final, kind. And with it, you release the last of your weight. You are not gone. You are not lost. You are only resting in a field made for sleep. And the stars keep watch, unmoving, unending. The platform of dreams fades from sight, and all that remains is light, breath, and the rhythm of a world that waits for no one, but welcomes everyone.